What's up, gaming heroes, and welcome back to another awesome World of Warcraft video. Today's video, we're actually going to be doing something completely brand new, which is actually analysing how a plus 18 went for me in-game. I had really good fun with this, and I'm just trying to improve as a player. So what I'm finding is, instead of just watching it to myself and, not really teaching anyone anything, I can actually show people on a whole what to do here by analysing where I went wrong, and potentially, hey, if a good Druid comes along and says, hey, Erosium, you could have done this at this point, I will learn that as well. Let's look at this together, and let's enjoy this together. If you would like to support me, then check out the link in the description below to get awesome dragon t-shirts. They're so cool, you'll really love them. But without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so this is Azure Vaults, and it's really important here not to put too many dots and too much damage on those ads right away, because it can really annoy the tanks, as you can just steal aggro a little bit. And it's really important to interrupt those there like I did, which was good. Generally, this first pull, I do remember it went really well. We just absolutely nuked the damage, making sure to clear those explosions as and whenever they appear. Uh-oh, explosion went off. Shoot, I never noticed that when I was playing, but now I'm noticing it. It's cringing me out. We're doing quite well. We are pumping some numbers on the DPS. The hunter is my older brother, and he is absolutely nuking the damage. He did better than me. I died there. Probably an explosive went off again, and hard for the healer to keep up with multiple explosives. Quite hard to get around that. I could have had time to get around that, but I was too slow. Generally, it is what it is. Move on. So we're missing explosives too much here. I'm not exploding stuff enough, and I need to be sure to do that a bit more. See these explosives right here? I should be prioritizing those a bit more than I am. We've got to move those out of that area. I should be interrupting that. Interrupt didn't go through. Got to make sure the interrupts go through. There's not enough interrupting going on in the group right now, and I'm definitely not using it enough. I've got 2 interrupts as a Druid. I've got my Solar Beam, and I've also got a melee interrupt, which is my Bear Roar. So I could be using both of those better. Generally, my damage here isn't too high. I could definitely be putting out better numbers. I think it's because I blasted all my cooldowns on the first pack, and I'm just trying to rebuild my ramp. Sometimes it's hard as a Druid to figure out if you want to ramp up your abilities or not. Your prioritization, typically you want to put Stellar Flare on all targets that are going to survive more than 30 seconds. And then you should really put Moonfire and Sunfire on as well. I thought the tank was going to pull that guy there, so I actually attacked him, and I probably attacked him too early. Here I should be putting down my interrupt. I didn't use my interrupt here, which I should have been doing, because generally that's a Solar Beam is a really good type of interrupt. It silences all targets for like 8 seconds, which is really good. So I need to get better at interrupting there. Yeah, good, cool, that was nice. Everything's good going here. Stellar Flare is back on the targets. Great. I'm just making sure all my dots are on the targets, and then trying to make sure that I'm getting all my procs possible. I'm missing tons of opportunities here to press on things like Starfall and things like that. Could be missing loads of opportunities here to actually get quite a lot of damage. Stellar Flare isn't on one of the targets. I'm missing quite a lot of damage off that. Yeah, there you go. Get it back on. And the other target is nearly dead, so there's no point putting it back on. I might... Yeah, I mean, it was probably worth putting it on this guy as well. It's not going to survive the entire cooldown, so maybe it was a waste of a cooldown. Again, if your target isn't going to survive more than 30 seconds, I don't really see the point in putting Stellar Flare on it, just pure and simply because, the amount of time it takes to actually cast that. Great, onto the boss now, and I definitely remember making a mistake on this boss. You guys will see it, and I don't really understand it too much, how I made this mistake, but I think I've just got to be more careful in future to never ever be on the front side of where the boss is. Just generally, this is a really important boss to not be on the front side of, so I really have to watch out for this stuff. Now, unfortunately, because it's like a plus 18, you have less room for error. Previously, because I do typically like plus 15s a lot, I can kind of get away with some stuff. The healers can heal through it, but as you get to those plus 18s, any mistake that you make kills you. So you have to really pay attention and make sure you don't mess up at all. Generally, I've got my dots on quite all the time. You want to be refreshing those whenever it gets to 30%. So generally, we did a good job here. I'm going to keep these trees here so we can clear these trees. Brilliant. And it looks like we actually cleared every single one, which is fantastic. This is where I should be popping on all my AoE abilities and then trying to bring those to the tank and then clearing these as well. I didn't need to clear because they've already cleared, which was quite nice, but I should be paying more attention to that on a whole. And I should have been putting my Moonfire on all the targets as well, so I was messing that up as well. The tank is trying to decide where to position the actual boss there, and he decides to point it directly at me. This is where I should have like tried my best to like really move out the way. So he's moved the boss again this time, and the hunter nearly died there because he pointed it at the hunter last second. This tank on a whole is doing great, but really needs to be careful with positioning and moving the position last second, because it can really kill DPS like that. But generally the tank's doing great. I'm not here to criticize the tank. I'm here to criticize myself. Generally, this is where I should be putting Moonfire and Sunfire on all these targets here. I'm missing loads and loads of damage by not doing that. Loads and loads of damage. Oh my gosh, no wonder my damage is low. I could be really improving on that stuff. It's making me cringe watching myself. I'm so annoyed at myself. Okay, this is where we should be clearing on 4 seconds. I do have a weak aura that goes when we get to 4 seconds so that I can make sure I clear that. Stellar Flare back on the target, please. Erosium. Yeah, great. Doing great. This is where I thought I got out of it, but I didn't. It has an absolutely huge cone of effect, and I really thought that that generally I was out of the cone, but this is a huge cone of effect. Let me just show you how big that cone was again. Look at this. Here we go. So we clear it, and then look at that. So the tank could have turned the boss to face it away from us, but alas, we weren't able to, and it killed me and the healer, which was a shame, generally. But I mean, this could be the first time this person's tanked this at this level, and people might usually, survive that. Who knows? The healer was able to get up, and they were able to secure the kill, so that's all that matters, really. So this is where I messed up. I should have spoken to the lady to get my speed buff. That was a bit silly. Error in my judgment, but oh well, I can learn for next time. Okay, so I think that I'm going to survive the 30 seconds. These mobs are potentially going to survive 30 seconds. So I put Stellar Flare on all the targets, and we're nuking them down. That's brilliant. Okay, looks like they're only going to survive about 20 seconds, so I probably wasted 2 Stellar Flares there, and I should have probably just gone straight into nuke mode instead, which would be very much just getting to the Lunar Eclipse and then dropping Starfalls on them like crazy. I love this pack of mobs because it's a perfect opportunity to do absolutely tons of damage and nuke these guys down into the ground. It's so much fun. Where's the Moonfire, Erosium? Where's the Moonfire? Come on, dude. You need to be getting these Moonfires on quicker. Gosh darn it, Erosium. Does anyone else ever get mixed up between Starfire and Starfall? I always get mixed up between those two abilities. They when I'm speaking about them, it just confuses the hell out of me. Starfall and then Starfire. It's really confusing, I'm not going to lie. So yeah, when I'm nuking, I try and get into the Lunar Eclipse and then use Starfire as much as possible. And then anytime I get kind of high on my astral power, I start using Starfall. And then if I get a proc of Star Surge, then I use the proc. If not, then I don't really worry about it. Again, here, loads of time. Here, I should be getting the Moonfire and Stellar Flare on all these targets here. They're going to survive 30 seconds, so it'd be a really good shout to do so. I've also got everything got interrupted, which is good, but I do need to get used to using my melee interrupt as well. Yeah, I used it that time, but I need to make sure I'm using it a little bit more often, as I'm noticing my interrupts aren't really on par, and that's really what separates a good player from a bad player in those kind of higher Mythic Plus. I really need to get used to that, just generally, so that's my fault there. I really need to improve on that. Damage is still okay here, but I could definitely be putting out higher numbers by simply making sure all my dots are on the targets and doing it right away rather than waiting, 5 to 10 seconds to do it. Here, I did it pretty much straight away here. I'm really, really happy with that result. Just generally very, very good. And I could just be popping out spells left, right, and center here. I am worried about my positioning quite a lot here, which is fine. And I need to make sure I'm not getting capped on mushrooms. I have mushrooms that I could be using, and I'm not using any of them at the moment. So I could be actually doing a lot higher damage numbers than I am right now. so I need to be keeping an eye on that in future. And then I should be trying to balance my damage between the targets so we aren't just nuking one target down. That guy nearly got a cast through. I need to make sure I've got 2 interrupts up right now. I've not used either of them. This is embarrassing to me. I need to make sure that I'm using these interrupts. Okay, I see loads of problems with my rotation as I'm going through. I think I'm getting overwhelmed with the fact it's a plus 18, and because of that kind of newbie experience of just going to my first plus 18, I'm kind of not as used to it as, say, other pro players, so to speak, or like high level players. So I really need to improve on my skills and abilities there to kind of get used to it. I feel I do sometimes get overwhelmed by mechanics, and I just need to calm it down a little bit and just focus on the game. For me, a lot of the time, this happens from being in Discord. I get overwhelmed by being in Discord with other people. I can't focus. Best time I focus is when I've got some music going on my other screen, and I can just focus on the boss or focus on the mobs. I do so much better in those instances. It's crazy. Okay, brilliant. Generally, we're killing the damage. We're doing really good. We're keeping up with the other guys. It's just more interrupts. I could easily be top of damage charts here if I just did my rotation a little bit better than I'm doing right now, but I think that will come with some experience and analyzing myself in videos like this. Generally, a lot of people can learn a lot from me from doing this, so I'd highly suggest doing so. I'll try and make sure I link my character in the description below if you want to check out some of the builds that I'm using in this video. I think too many people in Mythic Plus are too used to point the finger at everyone else but themselves. When you sit down and you watch yourself play, even if you're not a YouTuber, but you record your own gameplay to watch yourself back, you can really find a lot of improvements. I'm finding tons here, but when I'm in the moment, I don't see any of these problems. It's only afterwards, so I'm able to be more aware of it now in future when I'm playing. Generally, I really like in this build here. Really enjoyable, lots of buttons to press, and it's always something fresh to learn. So I'm doing quite well here. I just need to get more of those Starfires on there, because I can really see the Starfire. I'm lacking Starfire damage here, so I could be doing a lot better on that. Generally here as well, I think the tank definitely should analyze the group and see that we've got some really good damage in the group here, and we could definitely take on 2 packs of mobs at a time. I think that would save us a lot more time. I think this tank might be a slightly newer tank, and he is a guildie, or she is a guildie, and they did a great job here. They did honestly a really, really good job here, and I really had a good time playing with them. They were a very positive person, and generally I was really, really happy with it. Just some personal criticism. I think potentially this group could have potentially taken 2 packs of mobs at a time with how well we were managing everything on a whole. I think personally, as a druid, I do huge numbers when there's huge packs of mobs, but when there's like only 1 or 2 mobs, I don't do nearly as much damage as other people in Mythic Plus. That's just me on a whole. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but a lot of my abilities are AoE type abilities, so they really benefit from large packs of mobs. So I think I would have really benefited here and done a lot more damage if it had been slightly larger packs. I know when I did a knock-on the other day, I got 78k damage on a plus 15 or plus 16, because we were doing like 2 packs of mobs at a time, and it was really fun, and we timed it just generally. But sometimes it's actually better to go safe than sorry, 2 packs of mobs can lead to problems, so I guess I can't really talk on behalf of the tank there. There you go. Moonfire Arrow. Moonfire. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You're capping on Astral Power, Arrow. You're capping on Astral Power. There you go. Okay. Use the Astral Power. You can't be doing that. Starfire, Starfire, Starfire. Boom. Loving every second of it. Get those mushrooms down. Get the Astral Power going again. Come on, Arrow. You got mushrooms there. You got a loon, you got everything. Oh my gosh, there's so many cooldowns I'm watching on the screen right now that I'm not using any of them, and I could have really nuked these targets into the ground. Look at my damage, it's 36k, I could have done a lot more. Oh goodness, Arrow, 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 what are you doing? You could have improved here a lot more. I've got a lot more improvement here to go. Where is he pulling from? So he told his friend to pull there, which is kind of cool. Okay, so I think the tank and the healer are on Discord together, so I think he's probably getting used to tanking. It's probably what is going on here. He is experienced at Mythic Plus. I know that much because I've seen like his record. Generally, I'm just trying to get better positioning here because it's kind of awkward with the pillar there. Tank is dead. I should have battle res. Why are you not battle resing Arrow? Arrow, battle res, battle res, battle res. Honestly, Arrow, what were you doing there? I mean, I could have battle resed, but I also shouldn't, because really you should be saving battle reses for boss fights, not for trash fights. But I think because of the amount we've got 2 there, we would have been okay just using 1. But if we only had 1, I wouldn't have used it. But generally, my fault there. I should have battle resed instantly. That's my job as a druid. be paying attention. I wonder if there's a weak aura that says you need to battle res here. I need to get used to that. Why is there a portal there? Can I just ask that? The portal really is annoying to see that, because it makes you think you need to click the portal instead of the person. I don't know why. Okay, and we're back here. I want to skip through the just running back. There's really nothing you can say apart from like just speak to the lady, get your speed buff and run back. Okay, I'm doing pretty good damage here, but I could definitely be dropping more Starfires down. Definitely more Starfires. Why am I not using Fury of Elune? That was a perfect opportunity to be using Fury of Elune. I need to be making sure to use that like almost on cooldown because it's such a good damaging ability. I need to be really paying attention a bit more to things. My weak aura does show that I've got it up, so I don't know why I didn't pay attention to that. That's my own fault, and I really need to be paying attention to that a bit more. I might change my weak aura so it's not just one line of abilities. I might make it as 2 lines of abilities so that I can see them a bit better, maybe have it a bit bigger. Just generally, I think that might be a better decision to make on a whole. Whereas the interrupt, there's the interrupt, brilliant. There's the general silence is a really, really good silence ability that was. Again, you should have used Fury of Elune a bit sooner because it's a waste of cooldown right now. It's still on and there's no mops there. Okay, great. On a whole, really good here. Keeping the mushrooms flowing, popping those mushrooms whenever I can. Trying to use up all of the astral power, but not getting the opportunity to do so. Really need to be paying attention to that a bit more. Again, Moonfire going straight on all the targets instantly, which is really, really good. That's what we want to be aiming for. We want to be getting the interrupts on, Stellar Flare on all targets. Boom, we got the Stellar Flare on all targets. This is really, really good. Where's that Fury of Elune, Erosium? Use Fury of Elune, dude! Use Fury of Elune, for goodness sake, Erosium, please! Use it! It's there! You're not using it! You're lacking damage! Get the Fury... This is what I'm talking about. This is why you need to watch yourself back. Because you see blatant problems in your rotation, such as my lack of use of Fury of Elune. Why am I not using it? I can see it right now. So many times there's situations where it's off cooldown and I'm just not using it. Also, I shouldn't be putting the healer on my set focus so that I can be using Innovate on them on demand. Okay, generally, with the ads, I try and like just put a dot on them. Oh, dodge, Erosium. Oh, that was close. I waited until last second to dodge that. That was way too close for comfort. Need to be a bit more intelligent with that. And generally, yeah, put the interrupt on the ad, put my dots on the ad, and then that can die, and then just focus on the boss again. Okay, he's casting all the ads. This is where a kind of good opportunity to be sticking my dots on all of the ads and then kind of just going around and sticking dots on. Nuking them down is good, but generally it's a kind of good idea to stick your dots on all the ads, especially Moonfire, Sunfire, Moonfire, Sunfire, Moonfire, Sunfire, Moonfire, Sunfire on all 4 ads, and then you can kind of start to nuke them down with AoE abilities. So that's my fault there. I should really improve on that. I could be using a defensive here to help the healer. Nature's Virgil, probably a really good one there to use because he's having to heal everyone, and I shouldn't be prioritizing the heals on me. It should be on the tank, on a whole, and the healer, so I shouldn't be really worried about that too much. Generally here, I'm not clearing. I need to be clearing. There you go. There's a clear. Great, great, great. That's wonderful. Put the dots on the ad, Erosium. Dots on the ad, please, Erosium. Dots on the ad, please, Erosium. Dots on the ads. Dude, put a dot on the ad. Okay, ignore the ad then, Erosium. Oh, Fury of Elune is up again. I've got 3 mushrooms up. I've got everything up. All my cooldowns are off, and I'm totally overwhelmed on this boss. I can see I'm totally overwhelmed. This boss, for some reason, I get overwhelmed on this boss so gosh darn easily. And look at all my cooldowns. I'm not using any of them. No wonder my damage is lacking in this dungeon right now. I am completely just sat there with no abilities used. Erosium, what are you doing, you absolute sausage? Okay, I finally used my cooldowns. Finally used my cooldowns, dude. Finally. Okay, get your dots on all the targets, Erosium. Dots on all the targets. Come on. Come on. Tab and dot. Tab and dot. Okay, no. Okay, now where are the 2 squares? 2 squares. There's what? They're both on the other side of the room. Move towards the square, Erosium. Are any of the squares going to move towards me? Are any of the squares going to move towards me? No. None of the squares move towards me, dude. Oh! Okay, so we messed up there as a group there. I should have moved towards the square, and the square should have moved towards me to clear the affix. I think that they got mixed up, and they tried to clear on each other, thinking that they had different marks, but really they had the same mark. Yep, it is what it is. Quite a funny one. But yeah, generally they were said, oh crap, we didn't clear there. My fault really, and you know, a mixture of the group's fault. We could have all done better there. Let's go back to that boss and see how we perform on it the second time. Okay, dots on the target. Can we blast some cooldowns, please, Erosium? Okay, cooldowns. Oh, Fury of Lune. I've used all my cooldowns. This is brilliant. Erosium, you're learning, you sausage. You're learning. More mushrooms, Arrow. More mushrooms. Come on. Don't only use one mushroom. You've got 2 more mushrooms there. Get ready to clear. Get ready to clear, Arrow. Please get ready to clear. Where are your mushrooms? Arrow, use the rest of your mushrooms, Arrow. Please use your mushrooms, Erosium. Use them. Oh my gosh, they're just sat there doing nothing. Okay, generally, like, it's okay to not use mushrooms, but like you always want to be like have your mushrooms on cooldown, right? And right now I've just got loads of astral power just sat there not being used, so I should be definitely trying to use that. I should be putting dots on all these ads, so it just generally is taking off your damage on everything rather than one target. Nature's Virgil should be on here. I should be using my healing cooldown. What is it? Iron bark? I got iron bark or bark skin. Yeah, it's bark skin. That's it. I got bark skin. I could be using that as well. Generally, like, there's some really good abilities here. This is a single target boss, so Nature's Virgil is a really good ability to be using to stay alive. Dots on the target, on the ad, please. Dots on the ad. Put the silence on. Yeah, silence is on. There you go. Brilliant. Dodge that mechanic. Brilliant. Okay, I've got some learning here to do. I've got some learning. I've really got to improve here. Okay, dots on the ad, interrupt the ad. Dots on the ad, interrupt the ad. Dots on the ad, interrupt the ad, Erosium. Okay, so this is why I wanted to watch this dungeon back here, because I can see I'm getting overwhelmed here. I'm not sure what abilities I should be using. I should be using my mushrooms way more. Fury of Loom went on the target, which I'm really happy about. Dots on the ad, interrupt the ad. Dots on the ad. Okay, great. We did well there. Again, we're doing okay here. This is just single target, but I see the mushrooms not being used, and it's absolutely cringy to watch myself back because of this. The ads are spawning again. Okay, get those ads spawned. Brilliant. Get the dots on the ads. Brilliant. And I should be putting Sunfire on as well. I'm only putting Moonfire on for some silly reason. I should really be putting Sunfire on as well, because it's useful to have all of those dots on all the targets, and then I could have done a lot more damage on a whole for like AoE. Here, okay, I wouldn't use Fury of a Loon on these ads here. I'd wait till the boss is back up and then use it on the boss. But generally, like here, it's okay. I'm doing all right. I should move further away from the boss so it was easier to dodge stuff, and then get all my dots back on the boss. Fury of a Loon, Fury of a Loon, Fury of a Loon. Please use Fury of a Loon. Erosium. Okay, now there's no point using it anymore. It's only on like 5% health, but still. The point is, lots of opportunities to be using cooldowns where I'm not using cooldowns, so I really need to be improving on that. I really want to get to the point where I can push +20s and time them, and the only way I'm going to do that is to analyze my own gameplay, find where I'm messing up and making mistakes, and then improve on those mistakes. I know I can do it, I just need to put a little bit of time and effort into improving it. I put here really good Nature's Vortex, which is really good. That will stop the frog from jumping around all the place. Now, the only problem is I put it slightly wrong position, because I didn't let the tank get all the mobs positioned before I used it, and this guy will just keep knocking me back. I should position myself against, maybe in the corridor, so I get knocked into the wall. Instead, I keep getting knocked back up, which isn't useful and does interrupt my spellcasting quite a lot, which is quite frustrating. So on a whole, I should be more careful of doing that in the future. Yeah, so in the future, make sure I wait to use my Nature's Vortex here, because generally I think I can get a lot more here. I think the tank could have probably pulled the entire room here, to be honest, and then gone. But I think we did it in like little parts like this. Generally, if we got all the mobs together all at once, I think we could have handled everything, to be honest with you. I think this tank's doing a great job, and we could have definitely handled everything together. It's only the orbs you have to be careful of, because when you have a lot of mobs, you have a lot of orbs, so that's the danger of it. This is where Nature's Vortex would have been really good, because the tank like has pretty much everything kind of put together here, so I just kind of need to be more aware of that. I could be putting the Stellar Flare on all the targets right now. I don't see a lot of spells being cast, so I don't really need to worry about my interrupt or silence. So I'm doing kind of okay on that. Starfire could be used a lot more here, just generally. I've got a mushroom off cooldown, so on a whole I could be doing a lot better. That's okay. I love watching this back. I'm learning a lot by watching myself back here. And I actually really suggest this to other players as well if they were looking to improve in Mythic Plus. It's so easy in Mythic Plus to point out other people and say, oh, you could be doing this better. But it actually takes a bigger man or a bigger woman to look at themselves and say, I could be doing better on this by watching your own gameplay back. I actually learned the idea of watching my own gameplay back from a really good Mythic Plus player called is it Yumi or Yummy TV, and they're really good at Mythic Plus. So I'm trying to learn a little bit more and get better at this on a whole, as this is kind of the key to getting really good gear in World of Warcraft. Doing a lot of Mythic Plus at high level will definitely get you that top level gear. Brilliant. Popping those Starfires down. The damage should be popping in now as well. I've got a mushroom there. Could be using the mushroom. Come on, Erosium. Get that mushroom down, please, Arrow. Okay, a lot of time here, I'm missing my mushroom usage. Healer's at 42% mana. I could be using Innovate to help the healer with not wasting mana. So we could keep the flow of the dungeon a little bit more. So here, generally, I should be putting the healer on my set focus, and I should be whacking my innovates down on that healer whenever I see them low on mana. On a whole, there's a bit of improvement there. I might make that box a little bit bigger up here. I might make this whole box here bigger so I can see the mana a little bit easier. But yeah, set focus should be put there as well. Okay, let's have a look here. Okay, should be refreshing my dots on the targets on a whole. Got a couple of targets here with no dots on, so I should be really getting those dots on a whole. My damage is looking okay, but I have got quite a few cooldowns off. In fact, all my cooldowns off, so I'm hoping for a big pull here maybe. Okay, healer is on low mana once again, and I should be, I should still be sticking Innovate. This is where I realize I'm like, set focus, Innovate this target. Yeah, here, my bad here. I could really be improving on this stuff. There's a big pull here. I absolutely love a big pull. Just wait, just calm it down a little bit, Erosium. On the cooldowns, there you go. Now they're all together. This is where you put Nature's Vortex down. Boom, that's a beautiful Nature's Vortex. Use all your cooldowns, nuke the target. Come on, nuke it, nuke it, nuke it. Nuke it, nuke it, nuke it. Where's that Starfall? Starfall, come on, bro. Starfall up. Yes, brilliant. Okay, now start Starfire, Starfire, Starfire. Come on, baby. Starfire, Starfire. Come on, go, go, go. Arrow, you can do more damage than this. You can definitely do more damage than this. You're doing great, but keep more damage. Come on, Arrow. Yeah, not bad, not bad. It's okay. We did okay here. Definitely not good, but not bad either, On this boss here, this trash pack, you also don't need to be too far away from the mobs. You can be in melee range easily because the frogs will jump away, the toads will jump away. So if you're further away, the frogs are going to jump further away and they're going to take longer to kill. So you don't want to be doing that. Okay, here you want to be positioning these mobs ideally inside this corridor as a tank, and then that way if these guys shoulder barge anyone, no one gets knocked off, and you obviously just get knocked into the wall. The way this position is okay positioning, but I found it's personally better to like position them in the corridor. Just because you can see things a little bit easier, I personally find, but that's just nitpicking myself personally. Here, using good cooldowns, this is what happens when I use good cooldowns. I do good DPS. I should be making sure to do that more often. I could also be using Nature's Vortex here as well, so as to stop all of those shoulder barges going through. I realize that now. I didn't realize it in the time. So if I use Nature's Vortex, they actually get pulled back to position and no one gets hit with the shoulder barge. That's good to know. Okay, I'll do that in future. Okay, so as you can see, we've fallen out the time, but no one is losing their rag. Everyone's just been chill. Everyone's keeping it going. This is lovely to see. So keep it going, Erosium. You're doing wonderful. Okay, brilliant. Stellar Flare on that target straight away. Sunfire, boom. Should be positioning myself on the corner so I don't have to move on the boss. If I position myself in the corner a bit sooner, I won't have to move as soon. It saves myself a little bit of time, like 1 or 2 seconds of movement. And Ice Devastator is on me, so I should be moving away from the group on a whole so that doesn't hit anyone else. Okay, get to the safe zone. Safe zone right now. Brilliant. This is a perfect opportunity to refresh all my my dots on the target. And then get myself into Lunar Eclipse just for when the boss lands as well, which I did. Brilliant. I did that absolutely wonderfully. And I can blast all my cooldowns. Again, positioning Erosium. Get yourself to the corner before he casts it so that you don't have to move when he casts it. That saves you a lot of time. So I should be making sure I do that in future. We cleared that really, really quickly, but that guy didn't need to get, I think it was my brother, he did need to get into positioning a little bit quicker. I don't think I hit anyone with that Innovate. Is it on the healer? Nope, it should be on the healer. Why is it not in the healer? Also, why is the set focus cleared again? The set focus keeps clearing for some silly reason. I've got no idea why it clears. I gotta be more careful with that. Generally here though, I'm doing good DPS. I just need to be more aware of using my cooldowns, and on a whole, I should be blasting my wraths off here like crazy. Fury of Loon is off cooldown, so you should get that Fury of Loon on. Boom, it's on. Oh, I used it too early. Oh no, it's a wasted Fury of Loon. It does no damage. I should have waited for him to come back off, then used it. That way it wouldn't have been a waste. It's a complete waste right now of a Fury of a Loon. Right there, look at that. Completely wasted the cooldown. I should have waited till he came back out, and then it wouldn't have been a waste. Position yourself in the corner, save yourself the time, Erosium. It just makes sense to do so. Brilliant, did great there. On a whole, not bad. Okay, cooldown usage, we're doing okay on the cooldown usage. I could be doing better. Move out the group with Ice Devastator so I don't hurt people. Brilliant. Not bad at all, but generally there are some improvements I could be using. Patch up here on this to get the heroism buff off me. Excellent. No, don't use that one. Don't use that one. Use the middle one. Okay, cool. We're doing well here. Because we're out of time, the tank isn't waiting too long to... it isn't immediately pulling the boss. There's an explosion there. Does it get destroyed? Yes, it does. I believe my brother got it. Starfire, Sunfire. Where's Sunfire? Sunfire, the bloody boss, Erosium. What are you doing? Where's the Sunfire? Arrow. Thank you. Sunfire. Mushrooms. Can I get some mushrooms? Arrow. Mushrooms on the boss. Mushrooms on the boss, Arrow. Mushrooms on the boss, please, for the love of all that is good and holy. Use your mushrooms. Okay, I could be using the mushrooms actually on these crystals instead. Could actually be a better idea, but I'm trying to get my dots on straight away because just generally having all the dots on will just tick down the damage and I can start blasting down the damage on a whole. That's probably a good shout to do. The dots aren't going to survive that long, so I don't even need to necessarily use them, but I think generally it's probably a good idea to put the dots on. I should probably watch a couple of other high-level druids do this boss and just see if they do use the dots or if they just use Starfire or what they're doing. It'd be interesting to see what they actually do on this boss on a whole. Moonfire the boss, please, Erosium. Moonfire, brilliant. Yeah, we're getting early clears just so we don't have to worry about things. Okay, great. Dots on the targets again. Okay, Moonfire's on the targets. Brilliant. Generally, we're just like blasting down these. Okay, I like putting these dots on these. It's a really good idea to put these dots. Stellar Flare on the boss. Come on, Stellar Flare. Stellar Flare. Okay, Stellar Flare's back on the boss. Brilliant. That's really good. We're capping on Astral Power. Do not cap on Astral Power. Use up your Astral Power at all times. Do not ever leave Astral Power there. You need to be more aware of this stuff, Erosium. You need to be far more aware of this stuff. Okay, great. Make sure you're using the Astral Power again. Mushrooms up. We could be using Mushroom. Okay, brilliant. This is up. I love this when they're all together. Put the dots on all the targets. Great. Excellent. That's really good. Just on a whole. And then there's also a crystal on the boss. Take the crystal out on the boss. Lovely jubbly. Boss on the crystal. Done. Excellente. Let's refresh that. Starfire. Stellar Flare could be quickly refreshed right now, just so we don't have to panic about it later. Great. Did that. Okay, we got a Roar here. Got to get out of the way. Is that healer? Ooh, is he going to make that? Yeah, he's going to make that. Great. On a whole, that's really good. Boss down. I did pretty good there, but could have, got higher DPS by using my mushrooms better. On a whole, 51k damage for that boss, for that dungeon. I could have done a lot more damage if I used my cooldowns in a smarter, more intelligent way. Note to myself, just improve on that in future. I definitely think I could do better. Thank you very much for that dungeon run. I really appreciate it. On a whole, I really hope that you enjoyed this dungeon analysis video of myself doing a plus 18 in World of Warcraft. Really trying to improve on the balanced druid. If you have any feedback as a balanced druid doing plus 18s and above, please feel free to leave it in the comment section below. And if you want to get awesome dragon t-shirts, then check the link in the description below. Really appreciate the love and support on this channel, and I'll see you in the next one.